A lot of people right now are asking the same question. Is the housing market slowing down? Is the price going to drop? And if the demand feels softer right now, why are homes still selling? The truth is this: most people think real estate moves because of mortgage rate or economy. But this week data show a completely different side of the real estate market. Housing moves sold because life moves. And once you understand that, you will understand why home prices across Maricopa County can move very different depending on the cities, the location. So let's dive right into the information to answer the question why home still sold right now. Okay, so the first chart right here I want to show you is this is one of the NAR, the National Association survey, to show you the reason of what happened for the last 2 years, the reason why people move. Okay, and we are going to see that 7 million people for the last 2 years move because they have a new family member, a new birth, a new baby coming to life, right? Or another 7 million people move because they turn 65, the year of the retirement, right? The age where they think about retirement. 4 million people move because there's a death in the family. 3 million people move, buy another house because they become married. Two people, right, living renting right now, when they combine, they decide to buy another house. Okay, 1.5 million homes, household getting divorced. So as they divorce, they have to move, right? So those are another life event that happen when they decide to move to a different place. Think about how many houses decisions comes from those life events alone, right? You see right here about 23 million life events for the last for the last 2 years. So how many houses could be exchanged for within that 23 million homes, right? A growing family may need a bigger house. Someone retire may want to downsize, or a marriage is a combination of the two households, right? So a lot of things could change. So this is actually 23, these 23 million life changes is actually the real engine behind the housing demand. And that is going to be the answer for the question why people are still buying right now. Because life events happens regardless of interest rate, regardless of economy, right? It happens anyway. Okay. Now, another survey of NAR, the National Association of Realtor, also asking the buyer who bought the house last year to see why do they move. And 35% of people, a buyer, bought the house because they said major life changes. That could be new birth, that could be death in a family, that could be marriage, that could be divorce, right? And 28% said nothing happened. They just want to buy, simply buy. Okay, that tells us something very important. More than 50% of the buyers are not waiting for the perfect market. Right? They decide to buy the house just because they think they're ready, just because they are ready. They feel that they're ready. Home ownership. This is another evidence proving that regardless of the interest rate, regardless of the economy right now, and regardless, in contradictory with a lot of people asking me the question, should I wait or should I buy now? I'm still waiting. More than 50% of the homeowners already make the decision to purchase their home, to fulfill the American dream, okay, to establish the stability for their family and long-term wealth. Okay, that dream, doesn't disappear just because the rates are higher. 28% decide to buy just because they're ready. Doesn't have to be any life event. 35%, yes, there's some life event change. So they cannot control, right? They cannot wait for the interest rate to go down. So that is another reason why the real estate engine is still moving, even though the rate is very high right now. Okay, when I say very high, it's not like that we haven't heard of this rate like 6.5, 6.8. Yes, it's a high number, but it's been like that for the last 3 years already. And I think that's the reason why people are still making the decision to buy. Those are the very important topics that we are going to discuss much more detail in my buyer webinar. This one is specifically designed for immigrant first-time home buyer. In this webinar, I'm going to talk about the full 7 steps of purchasing a home, especially focused on first-time home buyer. So if you're thinking about buying a house in 2026 and you don't know where to start, this is the right place for you. Okay, if you don't think about buying a house, but you know someone, maybe your child, maybe your friends, maybe your neighbors, right? Send them those links as well, and then and these, I promise, will bring value to them as much as you. Okay, all right. So another survey from the national I cannot speak today. Association of Realtors. Okay, when the buyer was asked why they moved. Okay, now this is another interesting. Okay, the primary reason they choose to purchase that home, the one home that they purchased. Why did they choose that? 16% of the people say that because that home is closer to my friends, my family, my relatives, right? 10% say that, well, because I want a bigger house. 8% because they want a smaller house, okay? 7% because they have a family situation change, right? 7%, another 7% is retirement. Another 7% is a better area, better location, right? A job change, location, relocation, 5%. Okay, newly built, they want a newer house, 1%. Better weather condition, 1%. Design, 1%, right? Only 2%. 2% of the people were asked say that they want to buy the house because of financial security. So in contradictory with a lot of people thinking, okay, because of high interest rate, because of the economy so high, so unstable right now, nobody gonna buy and the market going to crash. But here's the fact: only 2% of the people had to buy last year. Only 2% of the people think about money. The rest, they actually think of other reasons. They actually think about the family, the location, the house itself, right? Not just because of money. So this completely changed how we should think about the market. People are not waiting for the perfect condition, okay? And so do you, because life keeps moving. And when life changes, housing becomes a priority. That's why housing demand never truly disappears. No, not in the US, not in Arizona, not in Chandler, not in Phoenix. Okay, talking about Chandler and Phoenix, so let's look at the demand of housing in Chandler and Phoenix area. Okay, now this chart right here is a little bit confusing, so it's going to take time a little bit for me to explain. But basically, this shows you the listing under contract, which represent the demand of housing in market. Okay, each week. Each of the dot on here is the week of a week number. How many listing under contract within that week? Okay, there are 2 different groups. The group below here by the way, each line is a year. Okay, and you see the group below here represent the year 2026, 25, 24, 23. The group above represent 2019, 18, and 17. Now, there's no 20, 21, and 22 for a reason. Because those are the 3 years that the crazy COVID happened, right? And those are the time that the market changed a lot. And it wouldn't be considered normal. I want to show you these two periods so that you see what we call the normal real estate market. And the number one important thing that you recognize is the post-COVID, right, group. The post-COVID group is lower than the pre-COVID group. So that shows that the demand for housing is less post-COVID compared to pre-COVID. Okay, there's not a lot of people but decide to buy a house because of the economy, because of the interest rate so high. However, it's not returning to zero. And for the matter of fact, it has been a very stable for the last 4 years. You see, 23, 24, 25, 26, almost 4 lines are identical. Of course, there's going to be change here and there. You still see 4 different lines. But as you see here, they are very close to each other, just as much as 17, 18, and 19, right? Very close to each other for the last 4 years. So the market not showing any crash signal, but it is a balanced and it is a stable market. For the buyers, this is actually the very better opportunity we've seen in years. Okay, there are more homes available for you to choose, right? There's less competition and more negotiation power for you to deal with the seller as well. All right, that means if anything happens during inspection, you have the chance to negotiate and have the seller prepared instead of bidding war, instead of accepting the condition as is and things like that. Okay, for the seller, homes are still selling. Okay, so you see, don't be afraid of the less than demand. The home are still selling, but the pricing strategies matters much more now. The days of putting any price on the market gone. I have to say that. You cannot just say, okay, I want to put on the market at this price, okay, and get multiple offers. No, it's long gone. So you have to be a reasonable price for the condition of your property. Okay, so the biggest takeaway for this week is simple. People move before life change because life changes. And as long as life keeps changing, housing demand still always be there. The market may feel slower than before COVID, but slower does not mean weak. It means normal. It means stable at this time. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in Chandler and want to understand what this market means for your situation, send me a message or scan the QR code and attend my free webinar, and I will be able to answer any question that you may have. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.